Okay. In this session, in the same third module, that is environmental pollution, we are going to see about the noise pollution, because last PPT we have seen water pollution and air pollution, and also we have discussed about the radioactive contaminants also. So noise pollution is generally defined as regular exposure to elevated sound levels, and that may lead to the effects on the human beings and also other living organisms. And according to the World Health Organization, there is a standard, that sound levels, so that is restricted sound levels, so that sound levels like less than 70 dB are not damaging to living organisms, regardless like a long or a consistent to the exposure. And also noise pollution can be defined as the wrong sound at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it is also derived from the Latin word nausea. And noise is any sound independent of loudness, producing undesirable effects on individual. And also this loudness and intensity, that frequency are the major two properties for the noise pollution. And also, if we want to talk about the sources of noise pollution, there are now various the sources of noise pollution. It may be indoor or outdoor, or natural, or a man-made, or a industrial source. And also this traffic noise means, like traffic noise accounts for most polluting noise in the cities, in the urban areas mainly. And also the air traffic noise, construction sites noise, catering and nightlife and animals, the physical one, and the sleep and behavioral disorders may occur. And also the main concept for this the sources, and the main concept for this industrial source, for example, if I'm taking the first to discuss about industrial source, that progress in technology, for example industrialization, has results in creating more noise pollution. And also, for example, the mills or printing presses or any engineering metal works, etc., that contribute heavily towards noise pollution. And also in industrial cities, like mainly for example like Kolkata and all, like often the industrial zones are not separated from the residential zones of the city, especially in the case of small scale industries. It will be very much nearer to the residential areas. So these operate from workshops located in the ground floors of the residential areas, or may cause in the more noise, discomfort, and also that irritation to the, maybe to the human beings, that is those who are living, that is residents exposed to the noise. And also the situation is much better in modern planned cities, like many cities like where industries area are kept in the outskirts of the city or urban areas. So it will be like kept away from the residential areas, and both are separated from each other by significantly, that forming with a green belt, with more trees, planting more trees. And also, if you want to come, if we are discussing about traffic vehicles, that is traffic sound, that is transport vehicles, automobile revolution in urban centers has proved to be a big source of noise pollution. And also increasing the traffic can given rise to the traffic jams in congested areas, cities, where reported to the for example horns by the drivers, may it cause the irritation to ears of the person and the person who is on the road. And noise from the aeroplanes constitute an increasing serious problem in the big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, etc. And airports situated in the it should be situated in the outskirts of the cities. And the pollution centers and the airplanes pass over residential areas like heavy trucks, for example buses, trains, motorcycles, scooters, jeeps, and this endless, it is may overcome the same noises towards the human beings. And also this in the agricultural machines, if I want to talk about agricultural machines, which is like tractors, or any tube wells, lorries will be standing, and powered tillers, etc., have all made agricultural heavy mechanical, but at the same time heavily noisy. So that noises level should be 90 dB to 98 dB due to running of farm machines have been recorded actually in the state of the Punjab. And also the effect will be like noise is generally harmful and the noise serious health hazards, and also it has far reaching consequences and has many the physical and psychological as well the psychological effects on the human being. And also this standards we can see noise standards, that is class, zone, and the time. So from the AM separately and the PM. So you can see this class A, that is industrial zone, that is 75 dB. So it should be there from 7 AM to 10 PM, and 10 PM to 7 AM, that is 70. And B is a commercial, and B is a commercial, that is commercial, that is 7 AM to 10 PM it is 65, and 10 PM to 7 AM is 55 dB. And under C category residential areas, that is 7 AM to 10 PM is 55 dB, and 10 PM to 7 AM it is 45 dB. And in the category D, that too we're considering as a silent and the pleasant place, that is 7 AM to 10 PM is 50, and 10 AM to 7 AM will be 40. Noise pollution limits at residential areas, as I said, is 55 dB, and industrial areas 65 dB, and industrial and silent zone like 60 and 45 dB respectively. And the tolerance of the noise level in the cities level is 65 dB, while normal permissible will be 45 dB. And control of noise is to be achieved not only at the source but also at the receiver end. That is also very important, via transmission route and via application of rules and regulations, and maintenance of vehicular condition, utilization of silencers, that is also important. And also ban on shrill horns, eco-friendly zoning, green belt development, and proper town planning. So all these things we can achieve not achieving, at least we can reduce the noise pollution which is reaching from the the source to the receiver. So definitely with a care to be taken in the receiver end also compared to source end. We can take the measures and we can reduce the noise pollution in the receiver end. Receiver end means that is our end. Next one, water pollution. The water pollution is like a primary source of irrigation, the water in the form of rainfall and snow. These give rise to secondary sources of irrigation, that is classified as surface water, groundwater, or auxiliary water. And I'll come to this later. Water pollution can be classified, as I said, the surface, the ground, and the auxiliary water. And surface water or groundwater pollution or any other things, the point source have one identifying cause of the pollution, such as a storm drain or a wastewater treatment plant, or any drainage water is entering to the main source. And the non-point sources are more diffuse, such as agricultural runoff, the waste, the pesticides waste, and all it is carrying, and it is continuing, and it is joining with the main source water. And the effect can damage individual species and the impact of the natural biological communities which take part. And here our total available water in the world, it is divided. So we can expect this question in the exam or on internals, because they'll ask the percentage of individual particular source. That is, first one ocean 97.6, and next one is ice caps and glaciers, that is 1.9%, and groundwater and soil moisture is 0.5, freshwater lakes 0.009, saline lake 0.008 and rivers 0.0001, and atmosphere is 0.001%, and total will be the 100%. So this is a classification of the water, the source water on the earth. Uses of water, I think we all know the uses of the water. Production use, that is, production use means the water is primarily used for irrigation of food crops, fodder crops, medicine herbs, etc. Consumptive uses, that is, water is consumed in exhaustive quantities for domestic purpose such as drinking, cooking, washing, etc. And also the water find its application in almost all the processes in industry, starting from the manufacturing process to housekeeping, that is consumption, which we are consuming that water. So that will be separate, and production use will be separate one. And in commercial use, that water consumed for carrying out the commercial or any other recreational activities. And many uses of water include agricultural, industry, and any other household recreational activities. Like virtually all of these human uses require fresh water, and the framework of allotting water resources to water users is known as water rights. And in the agricultural pollution, it is estimated that 69% of worldwide water use is for irrigation itself, and in some areas of the world, irrigation is necessary to grow any crop at all, and in other areas it permits more profitable crops to be grown and to enhance the crop yield. And in the industrial pollution, it is estimated as 15% of worldwide water uses in industrial areas, and major industrial uses include power plants, which use water for cooling or as the power source, and oil refineries, which use water in chemical processes, and manufacturing plants, which use water as a solvent. Thank you. We'll continue.